Hi, and welcome to episode 61 of M1 Yarns and the Michigan Makers podcast. I'm Jamie, your host and the dyer behind m1yarns.com. And if you're new here, welcome. This is a mostly knitting and yarn related vlog, podcast, whatever you want to call it. And if you are returning, welcome back. I have a really fun episode for you today. I just got done diffusing my hair, so it's a little bit kooky. So I feel like I'm just distracted by my half curly, half wavy, half straight hair. Anyway, this is not a hair podcast. I follow plenty of hair things on Instagram, and it is a little bit crazy. Anyway, we're not gonna talk about hair anymore. I have a really fun episode for you. I just got home from Stitch Up Chicago, which if you follow me on social media, I talked quite a bit about it, and I'm going to include some footage at the end, I think, of this video. Gorgeous. Look at you. Say hi to the podcast. Hi to the podcast. It was a really fun, Stitch Up Chicago is a whole different animal. It's not a retreat. It's not a fiber festival. It's like a fiber friends gathering where you get a huge swag bag, you make some projects together, you try yarn from indie dyers such as myself. So basically what it is, all the attendees get to circulate around all the tables of all the yarn dyers who are part of the program, and we each bring at least 5 bases and have a bunch of half skein cakes around the table, so everybody can try all the yarns. I brought new colorways, which I'll talk a little bit about as well. But it was just a great time. And I went with some friends that I knew before, and I made some new friends, which was awesome. I met so many amazing salt of the earth people. And if you're one of those, you know who you are. I just thank you for your friendship and your time and just being you. I had a blast. And then I also met some of you, my viewers, which is always the weirdest feeling. Like, people know me and I don't know yet you know you. But I'm really glad to hear feedback from folks that they are enjoying the podcast. And so I wanted to take a quick moment to thank my patrons over at patreon.com. There is a link below. Their financial support for as little as $1 a month makes this channel possible, including little, what I like to call field trips to places like, let's see, last year I did a fiber mill tour. This year I did a sheep shearing day at a local sheep farm. So you can go back in old episodes and check out where I've been. And this year I have a lot of new and exciting things lined up. So if you're a patron, thank you for your support. And I've been rambling now for 4 minutes. I need to dive in. Okay, so let's talk about what I'm wearing. I have a thing that every April and October, I get this, let me set my water bottle down because it's a little bit crazy. I get this giant, like, Rubbermaid tub, tote, whatever you want to call it, like the storage things with the lid. I get it out of the basement and I flip-flop my knits in my wardrobe. So like winter to summer and then summer to winter. And I also do this with my clothes, although since working from home began a few years ago for me, it's not such a production. It used to be like a major purge where I'd go through my closet and say, like, have I worn this year? No. Do I like it? Do I love it? Am I, it's got to go. And I have, especially with being a yarn dyer, I have been looking at my knits a little more critically, but I also think my style is evolving. And with that being said, I found this oldie but goodie in the tub. I don't know why I didn't get it out for winter in October when I did this, but I just saw it when I was getting my spring knits out, and I was like, you know what? It's like a transitional piece. I actually designed this. This was the prototype of what was supposed to be a design release probably like 6 or 7 years ago. I cannot believe it. It's just, it got shoved to the back of life. And so I do think that this summer I will probably redo it. After wearing it several times after I made it, I did think of things I wanted to do differently, but overall I really do like it. This little clasp, that's a hard word to say, is not, it's decorative only, but it's by Jul, Jul. I'll link them below. And this is like great for all sorts of shawl gatherings. These little studs, you can they unscrew, so you could take it off and put it on other knits and things like that. The yarn, I believe, is Blue Sky Fibers Techno, and I just saw this yarn at Nina Chicago last weekend, where they graciously hosted me for a pop-up shop. And a big thank you to everyone who came out for that pop-up. It was really fun. It was great to meet people and help them pick out new projects. And I debuted a non-superwash yarn that is now available in the shop in 6 colorways, 3 new colorways, and 3 classics. If you've been here a while, Silver Fox. I should be showing you this. But maybe I'll insert some photos. Silver Fox, which is like a light gray. Beach Sand, which is like a light beige. And then Mushroom, which is like a complete neutral brown. It's actually, this is Mushroom on mohair. So you can get a feel for it. Isn't that like just completely middle brown? Anyway, those three colors are also available on the non-superwash. And the non-superwash, I can see like mohair floating in the air. I hope you can't see it. And now it's really distracting me. The non-superwash yarn, which is called Hippie Lamb and Hippie Sheep, are available in Fingering, which is the Hippie Lamb, and Decay, which is the Hippie Sheep. And I have long looked for a non-superwash yarn that was soft because I have super sensitive skin and I wasn't really willing to sacrifice the hand of the yarn. But I really did want to add a non-superwash yarn to the shop. And I found a winner. So, let's see. This will come out in the fall if I get my you-know-what together. If you love it, let me know. If you hate it, let me know. If you have any thoughts, let me know. Comment below. So I wanted to chat real briefly. The make-along kicked off, the Tee Off make-along. And we did this a few years ago, and it was great success. The gist of it is from April 16th to July 16th, you can knit or crochet any t-shirt or tank top pattern or sweater pattern. We just don't want long sleeves. That's the whole gist of it. It's really casual, like any pattern, knit or crochet. Just we're celebrating like being in tees and tanks. And so that has kicked off. You can post to Instagram using the hashtag, or I have a Ravelry forum down below. So I cast on about a week or so ago the Ranunculus. I don't think I talked, maybe I had just cast this on last episode. Maybe not. Maybe I'm imagining it. This is heavily modified. And my friends are making fun of me, but I skipped the short rows in the front and back of the sweater. And I'm cutting out the lace, which would have been kind of in this stockinette section. And I'm doing fingering held single. So it's going to be like really loose and airy. I mean, you can really, I'm going to put my hand under there so you can kind of see. I mean, you'll be able to like, you know, almost see through it. It's going to be sheer. So I'll probably have to wear a cami underneath it. Or maybe like a bralette for a fun summer look. Anyway, this yarn is Yak Sock from my Yarn Addicts box last fall, which if you're not familiar with Yarn Addicts, it's a quarterly yarn subscription. So you just sign up for 1 quarter at a time. You pick your base, either Yak Sock or BFL Sock. And then you get 3 skeins, all mystery, one-of-a-kind colorways, a ton of goodies, pattern suggestions, and I was trying to do Zooms for participants. I need to bring that back. Anyway, this yarn was from that collection. I loved it so much I kept a skein for myself. And I should show you the ball because I think in the knit it's hard to see. But I really love it. It's like pinks and browns and golds. I actually love this so much I would consider adding it to the shop if you guys think that might be good. Anyway, that's my Ranunculus. This is the 3rd time I've knit this. It's currently on SOS Cords which, if you're not familiar, are silicone like stitch holder cords, which are in the shop. And they're great so that you can try on your knits like this. Anyway, so that's going to be my contribution to the tee off spring make along. And I've wanted to knit another ranunculus for ages, just not with a little lace bit, because I figured out I don't like lace on the boobs, which I think was the name of a previous episode. So you can go check that out if you're wanting to hear me talk about that. My only other real active project is, and I always want to call this the wrong thing, but this is the Goldwing by Knit Love Wool or Jennifer Steingass. And I've made a little bit of progress since the last episode. Wow, that's bright. This is my new Pantone 2023 colorway. That is pretty darn accurate. The camera never quite really picks it up, but I guess it loves that Pantone. Pantone pink. It's the color of the year. Anyway, I wanted to go for head of hair, low contrast. So you know that thing where you take a photo, you turn it to black and white, and you see how high contrast or low contrast. I did that with the yarn, which this contrast color, which is actually the main color, is Forge by Hudson and West in a colorway they created for Rhinebeck last year. Anyway, I'm enjoying this, but it is a little bit slow for some reason. I don't know if it's just I was distracted with other projects or what, but I mean, it's coming along. So I actually have two projects in timeout, the Sea Glass Tee and the Birds of a Feather Shawl. And I did say last year I would pick them back up around this time. And I'm just wondering if maybe I should do that. You know, I mentioned that I got the tote or the tub or whatever you want to call it from my basement of my off-season knits. And then I put things away and get the new season out. And I was going through my knits, and there were a few of them that I looked at and I thought, you know what, I just don't love them anymore for whatever reason. Some of them were like yarn from before I was a yarn dyer. And now I have so many, you know, like you have to purge. And so I'm giving a critical eye to some of my knits. Either I didn't like the yarn, or I didn't like the fit, or, you know, I made a mistake that's driving me crazy. This was one of them. It does look huge, but it's not actually huge on me. But this is linen, and I felt like it grew. And then the cup part up here is knit flat, and I wrote out, and the gauge is just different. I can't remember the name of the pattern. It's probably on my Ravelry. It has these double straps, which is kind of cool. I mean, in theory, this is a cool top and would be like potentially a great beach layer, like over your bikini with like some linen pants. If I went to the beach often, I might keep this, but this isn't my yarn and I'm not loving it. Oh, I should tell you the point of all this. I am thinking like each of us must have some knits we want to get rid of for one reason or another. Either they don't fit anymore, or they're not your style or your color. And so I'm brainstorming ways that we can maybe like raise money for a charity, or that kind of thing, rather than these projects just going in the trash or like to the Goodwill, for example. So I would really love your thoughts because a lot of you have wonderful thoughts that I really value. So with that, I'm just showing you these till I get the creative juices going. This was a shawl. Again, I can't remember the name of it. This is my yarn that I created for a special something or other. I can't even remember what it was. I actually like the yarn, but I don't wear a lot of shawls. And so, again, I'm like, maybe someone else would love this. Maybe this can be put to better use as, like, I don't know. This top, I would have to look up the name of it. This was like my first lace pattern. This is not my yarn. I can't remember what it is. Again, it's on my Ravelry page. It's too big. It's too long. It's really not too wide per se, because you can see it kind of fits me like that. Again, I don't like lace on the boobs. Not me. It's slightly too feminine for me. I'll say that. Like, I like a lot of really girly stuff, like heels and makeup and stuff like that. But I don't feel like this kind of lace is my vibe. No judgment, it's just not for me. Last but not least, this was a test knit that I did for Ponder and Ply. I'll have to look up the name and insert it here. But it like goes around your neck and it has buttons. So it's like that. And then it has like deep cleavage and then these like bare spots. I hope you can like envision what it looks like, but it's a lot of cleavage. It's super negative ease. It's cropped and I like it. It looked good on me. I felt confident in it. It's just, it's not for me anymore. I don't know. So those are some of the ones that I am planning to purge from my closet for the, I like to call it the seasonal reset. But I would really like, again, to either like maybe sell them for a small amount and then collectively we can all like donate to charity or just something, I don't know. I'm leaving it up to you guys to help me brainstorm. So, I think that's all I have for you here. Bye.